How are you?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. My name is Shan. I am the mom of the two lovely
Yeah,
girls.
I actually got sort of well, I got in contact with you because of the Blaclove Matters
Yeah.
podcast. So I
Mhm.
was
Oh, you listen to
yeah, yeah. I listened to
Naomi
that
and
pod.
Nero? You listened to
Yeah,
the show today?
yeah.
I
No,
love
well, yeah, I did. The one they posted today. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Cool.
When she was talking about friends.
Yeah. Yeah. She was like, well, since
Yeah.
I ain't got no friends, Nero. That's right. But I left a message on their thing and I said, I think you guys should, if you plan on adding to the team, I think you guys should stay there until the baby gets a little bit older. And then if you want to move back to California, you can.
Yeah.
I
It
just
sounds
think
like
they should
that's
be
the
around
plan.
family.
Yeah, it sounds like that's the plan. I actually know them. We used to work at the same place because I live in
Yeah.
Connecticut. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have the box stories for real, for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. That was such a time. This is such a
Yeah.
time. Okay. Well, hello, connected friend.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh man. All right, so this is really easy. All I'm
Okay.
doing is asking you questions about yourself, who you are. You can introduce yourself. You can talk about Moms of Melanin if you would
Mhm.
like, and your whole idea behind that, and anything that you're promoting, you could talk about.
Let me turn this
And
off.
you
Yeah.
could go as in depth as you want about your dad. You can straightforward answer it. And at the end, I will ask you to pick one of four colors. Depending on the color that you pick, gives a question about your
Okay.
dad, but I won't tell you
Okay.
what that question is. And then you're
Okay, no
done.
problem.
It's it. And then what I'll
Okay.
do is afterwards, I'll pick a day where in June where I'll post your 10-minute shorts about your dad. So you
Okay.
could push it or whatever you want to do with it. But yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. Welcome to Cozy Room Podcast. My name is Shan, Mama of the Girls, and this is another Father's Month short where someone comes on Cozy Room Podcast and they talk about how they love their dad, what they think about their dad, and how they appreciate their dad. And today I have a special guest, Rowena from Moms of Melanin, and she's going to
Hello.
talk to us a little bit about her dad and all of that good stuff. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. I'm
I
doing
love
good.
it.
I'm doing good. Yeah.
I love it. And where are you from?
Right now, I am in Connecticut, but I'm originally from Guyana, South
Okay.
America. I always have to say South America because I remember when I moved here, I would say Guyana and people would hear Ghana. They wouldn't hear Guyana for some
Yes.
reason. And so I always have to say Guyana, South America.
Right. It's a teaching moment.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Okay, little island. My parents are from the island. They're from Jamaica.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's the other thing I have to explain to people too, because they're like, but it's not Guyana's not in the Caribbean. It's in South America. It's like, well, we we associate ourselves so much with the Caribbean because we're part of
Yes.
CARICOM that yes, we are part of the Caribbean. But yeah, that's also confusing to some people sometimes.
Listen, anything that's going to expand the mind, do it.
Hmm.
Do it.
Hmm.
All right.
Hmm.
So, here in the States, do you have family here?
Yeah. So my family actually lives in Arizona.
Wow.
So I moved from Guyana to Arizona. Imagine
Mhm.
that. Like most people that move from the Caribbean, the first stop is usually New York. It's not.
Exactly.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit a million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
Catch those springtime vibes all over Arizona. Break out of the winter blues by hitting the water at one of our lake and river parks. Take a hike among the wildflowers. Just make sure to stay on the trails and leave the flowers for the bees. Discover Arizona's best kept secret and visit azstateparks.com/amazing to start your springtime adventure.
All the way over on the West Coast.
Right.
But we ended up in Arizona actually because of my dad's job. And so I did 2 years of high school in Arizona. And then I did both an undergrad and a grad degree in Arizona. And then I moved to St. Louis after I graduated from grad school. And then I started a career in Connecticut. So I kind of went across the country.
A little road trip.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I'm here in Connecticut now, and I know we're going to be talking about dad. So I should preface this by saying that my dad passed away back in 2016. So when you said you wanted to do this, I wanted to do it because like one of my missions in life, or missions or goals is I want to just keep his memory alive. I want to continue his legacy, even though he's no longer, with us. So it's very important for me to like keep talking about him. So that was one of the reasons I jumped on this opportunity, because I rarely ever get to just talk about him.
Right.
But my mom, she's still in Arizona along with my brother. I have a sister in Pennsylvania, so we're kind of spread out, which has been difficult during these Corona times. But I'm hoping that I get to take a trip out to Arizona soon to see my family. I actually have a nephew I've never met because of Corona.
You're one of many right now. You know what I'm saying?
It's just crazy when you think about it, right? It's like, I have a family member I've never met, but then I guess that's true for some people, like even before Corona, right? So, but yeah, I don't, so most of my immediate family, which is like my dad's side of the family, they're kind of close by in New York. But for the most part, myself and my family, I have 2 kids, and it's a 7-year-old. Actually, he just turned 7 this past weekend, and a 3-year-old. And so myself, my husband, and my 2 kids, we live here in Connecticut with no immediate family. So you can imagine how that is.
Yes. I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I have family here to brush them off with. So yes. I feel for you. Okay, so you answered my next question. My next question was, do you have kids or a husband? All right. So my next question is to tell me a little bit about your childhood and how your dad was involved in your life during those times.
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, I grew up in Guyana, and I think my most fond memories of my dad is just how, first of all, like I would say, the most important thing to him has always been education. So that's like the serious side of him. Like I would remember just like him just saying, just focus on your books, and everything else will fall into place. So that was definitely something that like stands out in my mind about him. But the other thing that really stands out on my mind in my mind about him is just how much he always like wanted us to experience things. I remember just taking road trips with him in Guyana to go to like the countryside. In Guyana, there's like creeks. Of course, here it's more like, beaches and rivers and stuff, but there's creeks in Guyana that we would go to. And he would always just find a way to have us experience life. And that's something that I always appreciated. But he was definitely hardworking, like I know, but he also partied hard. And that's something else that
when he had a good time, he had a good time.
Yeah. It's like he worked really hard, like long hours. He had his own company actually in Ghana. He was in aviation. And so, he worked really long hours, but then when we would have these parties at our house, I remember that about him. And it was he partied hard. I always liked to throw big birthday parties for himself, but also threw birthday parties for us. Like I even think about my own kids and the fact that how much I like celebrating their birthdays. I think that's definitely something I get from my dad, because he just loved to celebrate, and everything was an occasion. And just like having people over, like cooking and having people over for food and drinks. And so that was his thing, and really valued family as well.
Nice. What is one favorite memory you have of your dad before we get into the main question?
Okay. Favorite memory that I have of my dad. It's like I'm thinking. So I'm thinking of a memory in terms of a picture, which is this might not exactly answer your question, but like my favorite picture of the two of us is like I had to have been about 3 years old. And he likes to party, so he liked music. Right. And he had like a record player and the cassette player with the double cassette player, and he was always like playing music. And so this picture that I have of the two of us is of me wearing some headsets, and he's in the background, and he's obviously like playing music on his stereo system. And I don't know, that just stands out to me like over and over. I remember when he actually passed away, I told my mom, I was like, where's that picture? I don't know where that picture is. Like, you have a picture in your head and you want like the physical picture. Right. And so she finally found it for me. And because we don't live close by, she actually took a picture of the picture and she sent it to me. And then when I saw her again, she gave it to me. But it always makes me feel like connected to him whenever I think about that picture. The fact that I was enjoying something that he enjoyed, even at the age of 3. So that's probably one of the fondest memories I have of him.
So I was born in 1987, and growing up, my mom always took pictures, had photo albums, and you had the actual pictures. So for Rowena to talk about this photo with her dad and how much it meant to her, I was visualizing what she was explaining in the picture with her and her dad. And I know what it means to think about a memory and then actually be able to see it. It like connects the dots in your mind and in your emotion. And so I understand why she needed that picture and she wanted it. It just makes you feel more connected to the person that means the most. So that was a very cute memory. But back to the show, because it's so cute.
Here we go.
Back to the show.
Back to the show.
That's sweet. And you can take that picture and blow it up and do so many different things with it now.
Yeah.
Well, here we are. Last question. Pick one of these 4 colors, either purple, orange, yellow, or pink.
Yellow. because it's
Okay.
my favorite color.
It's one of mine too. All right, I think this is fitting for you. What
Okay.
did your dad teach you about living?
Yeah, I touched on this already, but living life abundantly, like
Hmm.
I can't even emphasize how much that is important to me in terms of, seeing his legacy continue. Because he loved to travel. He studied in Russia, which is something I don't even think you really hear about.
No,
People
it's
living
amazing.
in Guyana, much less like Black people,
Yeah.
in the US. And you think about a Black person in Guyana, like going away to Russia to
Hmm.
study, and I have all these pictures of him like dressed up in these coats and stuff, and you could tell like that he was like not comfortable, like this
Yeah.
Caribbean man in Russia,
Caribbean
but
people
he
hate the cold.
exactly, but he did it,
Yeah.
and I remember us, like, he liked to go on cruises, like anything, I would say, like, just that would get him out of his comfort zone and see
Hmm.
new places and experience things, like that was him. And I think a lot of times when I like doing things like hiking and
Right.
exploring and exposing my kids to these different environments. And I really think that's me, taking in everything that I saw him do in terms of living his life full and purposefully. So that's the lesson he left with me, is that, and the fact that he passed away, I think, at a young age, because he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's
Hmm.
in his 50s,
Wow.
passed away in his 60s. And so it's like the fact that he lives so much of a full life within that short time.
Hmm.
It really reinforces with me that life is not promised, and we do have to live each day as purposefully and full as possible. So, yeah,
Yes,
that's
I
it.
agree. That's good. I wish more of us were as outgoing as that with our family, because
Mhm.
right now I think that's what kids need. They need an example of a parent always trying or always going out of the box and trying different
Mhm.
things. So yeah, I'm glad that stuck with you. Are your other siblings outgoing like that too?
Um, I would say to a certain point. I think the travel part is
Yeah.
probably more their thing. But yeah, I think I'm definitely the most quote unquote adventurous ones
Yeah, man.
in
Yeah.
terms of experiencing things.
That's good. That's good. He can live
Yeah.
through you and your kids and stuff. That's
Yeah.
good. So what
Yeah.
do you would like to tell everybody where to find you, or
Mhm.
any
Yeah.
fatherly advice for anybody you could share?
Okay. So I have an Instagram page that I recently started, only about, it's probably only been about a month and a half,
Mm-hmm.
called Moms of Melanin. And that actually spells out with the acronym MOM. And I started that page essentially because of the pandemic. I've been home with my kids a lot, doing a lot of things with them. And
Mm.
it just I figured out that I really enjoyed doing certain types of activities and arts and crafts with my kids.
Yeah.
But also I really created that page to um, uplift and build a community of moms,
Mm-hmm.
because I just know a lot of great moms out there that are doing incredible things, and I think their stories are worth sharing. And
Mm-hmm.
so I created that page in order to not only document my journey as a mom, but also to highlight some of the terrific, incredible women that are within my mom circle. So yeah, you can find me on Moms of Instagram, Moms of Instagram,
Yeah.
on
They're everywhere.
I totally drifted off there for a second. I was like, okay, yeah, it's the end of the day. Been sitting at this computer all day working.
Me
Moms of
too.
Melanin,
Yeah.
that's the handle. And yeah, and in terms of people out there that, if you still have your dads around, I can't say this enough. Take pictures,
Mhm.
take videos. Like that's something I wish, like I had more videos of my dad. Like I have a lot of pictures, but I would do anything to like hear his voice, like
Mhm.
saying something, because I don't have any videos of him. And so I would say definitely make the most of, I mean, it's kind of cliche, but it doesn't hurt to keep saying it. Make the most of the time with people that are still here,
Mhm.
and also just take the time to ask them questions about themselves and get to know your parents, like especially as adults. Like I think, as a kid, it's like, oh, that's mom and dad. But as adults, like have deeper conversations with your parents and get to know them while they're still here.
Facts, because the more you get to know them, the more you get to know yourself. Y'all might be the
Exactly.
same people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm my mom, and that's okay.
Hello. Hello. Whenever anybody sees my mom and they see me, like, hi, Jen, part two. I'm just like,
Yeah.
yes,
And
she's
now
me.
my daughter looks exactly like me, so it's like a triplet situation going on.
Man.
And it's funny because I look at my daughter and like her facial expressions and just like her little personality, and a lot of it I know it's like, oh, I'm like, I do that. And I was
Yeah.
like, and now you're kind of like reminded, like, don't make that face because
Yeah.
your daughter is
Yeah. I
doing
don't know
that
what
now.
you
So
I know you didn't say anything, but I know what you want to say.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Well,
yeah.
thank you for doing this for Cozy Womb. And hopefully in the future we could have you on here to talk about some other topics because I'm always talking about momming and stuff.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would love that.
Yes. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Bye.
Bye.